think React actually has a lot of really good ideas here because they worked a lot on their concurrent rendering, being able to like render things off screen and then swap it in, being able to show placeholders while you're waiting for data, all automated in a way that's uses almost what's a OOP term, like the inversion of control. So essentially, you write the layouts and stuff using the data the way you want, and instead of like being worried about, oh, is this loading all over the place, you set suspense boundaries, which kind of basically go, if there's anything async over here, then we will show placeholder, or we'll kind of hold this until it comes in and show different state. Like all that kind of coordination, React has really cool ideas on. The only thing is it's not fine grained. And we did a bit of this work in Solid 1.0, but the biggest difference is we're kind of like non-blocking. Well, the idea is like if somewhere in your app, if something async, it can be undefined, which is awkward because it produces what I call a coloration problem, kind of like a weight, right? If you turn a promise into a signal and a value might not be there, somewhere later when you read it, you have to check it. So it means that like you can do all the checks up high to make sure it's there. But because down low, when you author a component, you're not thinking if someone's going to pass some async data to you. You don't know that. So I want to solve that. I wanted to, because the problem with checking up high is like, that's where you have to put the placeholder. That's where you have to make the decision points. And that's where you have to block. I don't like blocking there. And as I said, React blocks at the component level. They basically have like, it's like putting a weight in the middle of a function. So I've been working on an async model that I'm very excited about that blocks along the reactive graph, but not along the render graph, which means that it will render components as best as it can. And then when it hits like an effect or something where it's async, it throws, like, or computed, let's say computed, it throws in that computed, but that doesn't stop other stuff from rendering. It's only the stuff that depends on it. And using, it's a little complicated, but using things like suspense to handle kind of race conditions and visibility of it, the end result is a model where you should be able to write a component as if everything was synchronous, introduce async data source somewhere higher in the graph, and not have to rewrite that component at the bottom. And the rendering and stuff does not get blocked until it gets right down to that leaf node, like I showed earlier in the demo, where we're only updating that one text node. That's where you get blocked, not the whole render tree between where you fetch the data and where you use it. So it's a pretty ambitious project, but the idea is in the end, we will basically have a fully async capable signals graph without coloration. So
no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I mean, we've got some of the primitives already. It's the next big thing. This is the big part of Solid 2.0 release.
So this is going to be in. So you're going to do this in Solid 2.0?
Yeah, that's our next major thing. We just released Solid Starter meta framework last week, and this is my next.
That's basically like a CLI. The Solid Starter is like a
exactly
CLI,
like a Next.js or Remix or SvelteKit. Yeah, exactly. So we are now moving full force into Solid 2.0 territory. So at a certain point, I would have said this fall. I'm a little less ambitious and more realistic these days, but the work is in full swing, and this is what I'm excited about, because I think there's still more we can see out of the potential of signals, and I like always pushing those boundaries.
Okay, I think this is what we need to do, if this is okay with you, Ryan, because this is the first time we met you and we wanted to do the whole hello world and get the background. If it's okay with you, I would like you to come back sometime and really start here. And like we'll start where we picked up with, okay, let's talk about asynchronous SolidJS and 2.0, because I really feel like this could be a whole nother because this is really interesting for me. Like I love this topic. So I would really like to put you back on the calendar, maybe closer to before Solid 2.0 comes out. If you need beta testers, if you want to just tell us what you're doing and get feedback, I love it. And then we can start here when you come back, because I think you're great and you should come and visit us more often. And also maybe you could bring some people from your team, or we could bring Ben Lesh to heckle you and talk about this whole asynchronous thing, because I really think it would be cool to have you and Ben. Ben, right?
Yeah.
And maybe even Alex Rickabaugh too, because
Rickabaugh. Yeah, I got to put some demos together of it, but we have the basis of the reactive system for it. Milo, who has shared that article earlier, started that work when he was working for a company last summer. He's during his summer internship. As I said, he's a university student. He's laying the foundation. He's brilliant. It's summer break now for him now, so we're getting to it again. So yeah.
So exciting. Okay, so you're definitely going to have to come back and see us again, and then we'll pick up here where we left off and talk more about, because that is ambitious, but highly interesting for us. I'm going to turn off the recording here in a second, but before I do, and please feel free to stay after, because we always stay and hang out after we turn off the recording. Before we do, we have a little tradition here at Tech Stack Nation. Everybody, please come off mute and help me thank Ryan for making time for us today.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan.
Appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. I love talking about this stuff, and I love getting people excited because I'm always excited about this stuff.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Like it's fun watching you because we can see the excitement and it's contagious. So thank you again for making time for us, and we will definitely see you again soon.